Good morning, Dhamma friends. Good evening, Dhamma friends. Good afternoon. Welcome back to another episode of Dhamma Pariyasana. Today is Dhamma Pariyasana's episode 63. I'm joined by a special guest today. Her name is Shachin. She's part of a Dhamma school, a local Dhamma school in Malaysia, in Melaka area. Let's identify uh, Shachin. Shachin was introduced to the Mahayana tradition initially when she was 7 years old, and her encounter with the Theravada tradition came 2 years after. Since then, she has identified as a practicing Buddhist. She attended the Sekyani Dhamma school, where she is now uh, voluntarily working as the chairperson, the principal too, throughout her schooling years, and returned to serve the organization that witnessed her spiritual growth when she was posted back to her hometown for work. Later on, she stood in as a coordinator for SCETS. SCETS is an acronym for the Sekyani Dhamma School. When there was a lull in the operation of the Dhamma School during the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, this is the place where we have to look at significant contribution to the Dhamma School. Alongside a team of supportive volunteers, they ensured the successful yet challenging transition of SCETS from physical classes to online lessons for almost 2 years. I think we all know that COVID time was a very challenging time to all the operations, including Buddhist temples, viharas, and Dhamma school studies. When lockdown restrictions were lifted, she took a step back and continued to serve from the sidelines. By August 2024, she will have completed her 2 year tenure as a chairperson of SCETS, the position she chose to serve in. In addition to that transitional introduction of her into Dhamma school and Buddhism, I would like to introduce her from academic backgrounds as well. Shashin brings her expertise in education and adaptive leadership skills to her role as the assistant youth leader within the Malaysian contingent for SSEYP 23. She is an accomplished elementary school educator with a master's degree in teaching English as a second language, TESL, and is also a Google certified educator level 2. She was also the youth leader for the Shift for Southeast Asian and Japanese Youth Conference, SSEAYP, in 2021. Her dedication to empowering young minds is recognized 2 years in a row as a top 10 finalist in the Financial Industry Collective Outreach FinCo Outstanding Teacher Competition in 2020 and 2021. So these two introductions, both from Dhamma school side and academic side, show that she has been playing a significant role in terms of her life to the Buddhist traditions and a thriving person in her career. And today I'm going to discuss an interesting topic with her. The topic is growing an effective Sunday Dhamma school. Since she has been the chairperson to Sekyani Dhamma School, I think that we will be learning a lot from her with what she's going to share with us. All right. Good morning, Shashin. How are you? How's your day today? May
Hi,
1st, Labor Day, but on your side, how's everything going on?
hi, Bhante. Good morning, Sukihoto. Uh, it has been a wonderful morning preparing for the live show, and I think everything will run well. And thank you for the introduction.
Happy to introduce you. Uh, yes. All right. Let's start our conversation from this kind of perspective. Sunday Dhamma School, this idea was coined in Sri Lanka long time ago, in 19th century. I would say uh, the late 19th century, around I think 1875. in America. There was uh, it's not anti-Christian, but there's a different esoteric tradition came up. It is called Theosophical Society, which was based on one lady's teachings called Blavatsky, Mrs. Blavatsky's uh, teachings about Brahmanism and Hinduism and Buddhism, and they did not want to accept the presence of the God. And as an initiative of this tradition, one gentleman, his name was Henry Steele Oker, he came to Sri Lanka. This was around 1880, I think. And he came to the south of Sri Lanka. And he was the one who started the first Sunday Dhamma school in Sri Lanka, 1880. And he called it Buddhist Theosophical Society, an extension from that US organization in Sri Lanka. Before that time, there was no Sunday Dhamma school. There were schools, but there were no Sunday Dhamma school tradition in Sri Lanka. So in 20th century, you see that Sunday school tradition has been in the world as a Christian missionary inside the church, and now we see Sunday Dhamma school mostly in many countries now. As how you've been operating in your local place in Malaysia as well. So I think it's interesting to see how the idea of Sunday Dhamma School has been started. Anyways, let's start our conversation with that about yourself. Tell us about yourself and how you ended up supporting the local Dhamma school, I would say, Sekiani Dhamma School in Malacca, and then how you became its chairperson, overseeing as the principal as well. Let's get started from yourself and tell us about yourself, and then share about how you ended up in the Dhamma school.
Okay. Thank you, Bhante. So actually, I think you gave a very concise introduction of my spiritual background and also on my academic background. So I'll just add on a little bit more. So basically, I grew up in Sekiai Dhamma School. So I was there for more than 10 years. And when I went to Kuala Lumpur for my tertiary level education, so that's where I lost touch for about 5 years. And when I was posted back to my hometown for work, I decided to continue serving the organization that witnessed my spiritual growth. So, but at that point of time, I wasn't exactly that active. I wasn't a part of the board of management, so I served from the sidelines. So when the COVID-19 pandemic hit the world, and obviously Malaysia was affected, and so Dhamma school, in the Dhamma school had to like take a step back. So the operation was halted. So and then I think the board didn't know how to transition Dhamma school from the physical classes to online lessons. So the honorary secretary at that time contacted me and requested for my assistant to revive Dhamma school, I would say. So I took on the challenge, so to speak, because at that point of time, I think Malaysia and even the whole world was grappling with what happened, and Dhamma school wasn't exactly on top of everyone's priority list. But with a group of supportive volunteers of about 10-ish, 10 or so volunteers, we decided to get on with the transition, and I think we did a very good job, I would say. And after that, when the lockdown restriction was lifted, we had to transition back again from online lessons to the physical classes, and that took a bit of time as well. But I think as of today, I think we are. I would consider that it's a job. It's a smooth transition, and everything is running smoothly today. Yeah.
All right. So you are an elementary school teacher, right?
Yeah, I am.
And what do you teach over there? I mean, what are the
Uh,
subjects? And
the
how did that teaching help you to take up this role? I mean, you were explaining to us about Dhamma school went through challenges, I think, COVID time. I think we will be discussing them a little bit more later as well. How did that expertise, I would say, your experience as an elementary school teacher,
mm,
not every elementary school teacher can take up with this kind of work, right? So that means you must be a special person. So how did that thing help you to, take up the challenge, and then that how is
okay,
that transition? What's
okay.
happening?
Now, in the context of my work setting, we also had to transition from the physical classes to online lessons, and at that point of time, I was I would say the IT person for the school. So I
Oh,
had to actually, yeah, I was the person in charge of um, tech, IT and all in school. So I had to also get things moving uh, for my school back then. So I started getting into like researching for educational tools and approaches that we can use, and that's, I suppose that's where where I actually get to brush up my skills and all in terms of handling online lessons. And I was also introduced to the Google Meet platform, but for Sunday Dhamma School, we we did not use the Google Meet platform. We we did online lessons on Zoom, but both platforms, they basically share the same kind of settings and all. So there wasn't much of a gap in terms of technological skills and all. So I guess that's why there was a very smooth transition in terms of choosing what platforms to use and all. But I think the challenges that we faced weren't they were not exactly on the technological side of things, but it was more of getting volunteers to support the team, because we're all doing it on a pro bono basis. That was the challenging part. Yeah.
right, interesting. All right, so let's move on to the next question. This is kind of a theoretical question, a little bit. What is a Dhamma school? You could say a Sunday Dhamma school, a Dhamma school, and what should its goals be in comparison to the past and present? Now, you see, if you look at many years back, the goals, aims and goals of a Dhamma school, Sunday Dhamma school could have been different. So, since you've been actually helping these local Dhamma schools, Sekiani Dhamma school as kids, according to your observation experiences, you think how the aims and goals being change over time, and how do you recognize a Dhamma school, the importance of Dhamma school as well?
Okay. I think okay, the Buddha mentioned that there are two ways that right view, which is the first factor in a noble eightfold path. The Buddha mentioned that there are two ways where right view can arise, which is to listening to others, and also through wise reflection. So I think a Dhamma school serves as a platform, a fertile ground for for us Dhamma school teachers and volunteers to plant the seeds in the children. So I think a Dhamma school serves as a platform for students to immerse themselves in the Buddhist teaching. Not because it's not about only learning the knowledge per se. It's also about getting to practice the Buddhist teaching in our daily lives. So um, that's the first part of why a Dhamma school is important. And the second part is that I think Dhamma school is a place where spiritual friendship, where Kalyana Mittas can be found. And I think that's very important because the Buddha also taught that um, in one of the suttas, when Ananda mentioned that the spiritual friendship is only half of the holy life, and the Buddha rebutted and said that no, Ananda, the spiritual friendship is the entirety of the holy life. So I think this serves as the basis where I think when we get together in the Dhamma school, and when there's good friendship, good support, and good companionship, that's where we can walk this spiritual path together with more ease and confidence. And yeah, so I think so both wise reflection and also listening to Dhamma, whether is it from others or from our own readings and all. I think these both factors are very significant, indispensable for us and also for the children to progress on the spiritual path. So I think that's where the Dhamma school comes into the picture. And also I think I would like to borrow the words from a Chinese proverb. Uh, so there's this saying that says that if you are planting for a year, sow rice. But if you are planting for a decade, plant trees. But if you are planning, sorry, if you are planning for a, sorry, let me just repeat that. If you are planning for a year, sow rice. If you are planning for a decade, plant trees. But if you are planning for a lifetime, educate people. So I think that's what essentially Dhamma school or any other educational institution is doing, education. So, and the fundamental goals of Sekiai Dhamma school has remained the same for all these years since its inception in 1959. Our aim has always been, to instill an understanding of the Buddhist teaching in the students, as well as the teachers and volunteers, and allowing the Buddhist community to also practice the Buddhist values. But of course, the educational approach and the strategies and techniques that we use, and the emphasis that we place on the syllabus and all, it obviously varies in the past and also now, and from the past and as compared to the present, and maybe it will continue to change in the future. Yeah, thank you.
At the same time, have you ever thought this too? Now, in a vihara, in a temple, they have their own programs, many programs, Dhamma discussion, sutta studies, maybe blessing services, maybe 1 year only activities, Vesak ceremony, Katna ceremony, Vasa ceremony. But Dhamma school is the only activity that actively involves parents and volunteer teachers and children. At the same time, this is something that the Dhamma school administration, Vihara administration have to particularly look at changes. They have to update, and there are issues with regard to children feel like not going to a school on Sunday. I think it's a very challenging activity, outreach service that every vihara is going through. So I would actually take you back to the question again. I mean, looking at the objectives of a Sunday Dhamma school in the past, probably 10, 20, 30 years back. Probably you've been studying probably at least 10 or 15 years back in the same Dhamma school. Looking at that time and looking now, what do you think the objectives, aims that should be changed? Maybe you can share with us in order to understand Dhamma school culture that should be changed with the time. How about the changes that we have to bring in terms of the aims, objectives of a Dhamma school long time back, at least 10, 20 years back, and now?
Okay. First of all, I think thanks to the pandemic, actually, that we realized there is an urgent need for us to actually be more flexible and adaptive, especially in today's time. where it shouldn't be all very paper based or book based, or even where everything has to be conducted in a physical setting. So I can only speak for secondary Dhamma school and our team. So basically, um, I'm sure we know. I think it's widely acknowledged that back in those days it was more uh, traditional approach and a traditional classroom setting. But the pandemic hit, we had to obviously take a different approach. And when we had to transition back to physical classes, it's no longer, we did not actually go back to the traditional approach where it's all chalk and talk and very book based and all. So basically, what there were a few changes that we implemented, my team and I. So we transitioned from a paper book-based system to a cloud-based digital platform. So we um, we have like a Google Drive where we store all our documents, files, and our lessons. So and our lessons are now all PowerPoint based. Um,
Okay.
yeah, even the chan even the puja sessions that we had, um, the verses and all, they're all projected on screen now. So I think this shift ensured that
You mean
everyone.
digitization? You have digitized
Yes,
most
yes.
of the
So basically,
handwritten, maybe typed documents, and then shown them on big screens for the students.
yeah. So yeah,
Mhm,
basically, we incorporate, we digitalize the
mhm.
whole system, and the way we function and all. So I think how does this help in the long run? People would ask. I think this shift ensures that the current volunteers and also the future volunteers will have access to reliable and consistent information, while also facilitating the collection and the gathering of data, and also um, so basically we are able to gather everything and also access everything from a single source, instead of trying to get like, oh, where are the books, like or
Yeah.
where is our attendance sheet and
So
all.
that means you are saying that your fellow teachers and you have made one particular digitalized source, and then
Yes.
you all on the same page. Everybody knows
Yeah.
that this is the only source that we have to use.
Yes, so the team and I, even the board, we all have access to one drive, one cloud drive. So everyone can access at any time and anywhere to that particular source. So I think,
And
provided there's an internet connection, but I think this is where consistency comes in, and reliability comes in, where we are all we get to access from one single source. So there is a lesser gap in terms of miscommunication and all. Yeah.
I think that's an interesting thing to discuss, actually, worth mentioning. Because when you see some Dhamma schools, they don't have this kind of thing. They they use
Yeah.
some old books and they are not updated. And I think it's very interesting to have an internet cloud. So then, if there's any updated information, that will be updated. Among your changes that you may have added into the Dhamma school, as you said, uh, you have digitized most of the uh, probably key important documents, probably syllabus, syllabus, maybe Vandana parts, and many other things. Also, one of the things that I saw, which kept me very interesting, was you have introduced certain important Dhamma practices by sort of changing in different innovative ways. One is meditation. We will discuss that after. And you have brought up and brought in some children camps, probably bringing them outside to local viharas and then other things, even, yeah, and music section, all these. So we'll discuss about the meditation part. I have the document that you presented to them about meditation. We'll discuss this along with your ideas about meditation. How you brought in the meditation to the kids. It's very difficult for a Buddhist monk to even discuss about meditation to children because they feel like very boring, right? I'm not saying that not every monk is doing that way. There are many good monks who are doing that too. But let's see how you brought in that thing. Yeah. All right. I think this should be your mindful. Okay. How did you introduce this meditation part into Dhamma school?
Okay. So basically, the team and I, we decided to incorporate meditation into our our school. But we did during the discussion we did not want to actually term it meditation because sometimes it can come across as like it sounds very serious, and sometimes I'm not sure if everyone would agree that it doesn't sound very children friendly. So we decided to rebrand it into calling it mindful sitting. Yeah, so that's how the term came about. It's actually quite a common term. Yeah.
Mhm. At the same time, you have mentioned about these phrases in that you are encouraged to try this out with your siblings or parents. Can you just, I can just navigate to a couple slides. Would you like to describe something about this? How did you
Okay.
bring this meditation part?
So basically, it's just I would say a simplified version or consolidated version of a meditation that we have adapted for kids. We basically we try to make it more students and children friendly, so we ask them to try it out, especially at home, with their parents, or if they feel more comfortable doing it with their friends, so they can also do that as well. And we encourage the students to try at least 5 minutes of sitting per day, and they can increase their sitting time from there, from 5 minutes, and progressively add on the time frame.
Okay,
So one,
you have actually brought in some data like a calendar.
yeah.
How can they bring in
So
the meditation with a calendar, right?
So a lot of times, so I mean, we all know that in order to cultivate a habit, give it a try. Like for 21 days, that's what they said. So on that basis, we ask them to actually, after every sitting session that they have carried out, either alone or with their family and friends, they should mark it down. Can be on a calendar or in their journal or diary or anything, and from there they can actually track their progress, and it gives them, in our opinion, a sense of accomplishment, I would say, to see the ticks, or to see that they are actually able to accomplish something progressively with disciplines and persistence, and over time, um, we believe that they would actually feel the benefits from these sitting sessions. Yeah. And also we try to, I would say, highlight the importance of doing mindful sitting sessions every day. So as you can see from the slide, these were the words that we introduced to our kids.
Mhm.
So
And you all have
sitting,
brought in kind of a frog sitting on a lotus leaf.
yeah, because
Yeah.
we have I think we understood that it's a school for students, you see, not adults. So in everything that we do, right from the morning puja session all the way to the contemplation before meals, at the end before they go home, we try to incorporate a lot of student friendly visuals, and the words that we use, we actually simplify them, but we try not to run too far away from the Buddhist teaching. Obviously, everything is based on the Buddhist teaching. Yeah.
And after the example of difficulty, and then how they should understand about the sitting posture,
Mm.
sitting like a frog on a lotus leaf, and you are bringing them on to how to navigate about the passing thoughts,
Uh,
and you have made them similar. You have made those wandering thoughts similar to the clouds that are passing by in the sky. Let them pass. Don't try to catch them out. How do you actually? This is a very wonderful analogy. How did you explain this to them?
um, um, I'm just sharing what my team and I have discussed. So I think we can agree on the concept that we all have monkey minds, no matter who you are. So thoughts come and go. Even now, as I'm talking to you, Bante, I have thoughts coming in and going out. So we taught the children that they should just sit. Ideally, they shouldn't be moving, but that's 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 again it's that's very challenging for children. So we focus on teaching them how to actually just watch their thoughts, or if they find it too messy and all, they can watch the even the rising and falling of the abdomen, or try the anapanasati method, watching their breath. But because it's too subtle sometimes for the kids, so sometimes we also incorporate the observation of their physical body. But it's always but we try to always bring them back to their breath. And but as of the current implementation method, we will play a video
Mhm.
where they can hear words of loving kindness. Yeah, that's a formal mindful sitting session that we have with the kids, where we play a video where they can hear words of loving kindness, and then they focus their attention on that, so that it takes their mind away from the thoughts that they have, the wild running thoughts. Yeah.
Mhm. Very interesting. I think let's identify your other innovations to the Dhamma school, like uh, online classes. How did you bringing them in different ways, and camping, even you say a pottery class, music, visit local temples, and many other innovations through some photos. Probably you can explain to me and other people about these photos. Let's see them.
So
All
so
right. Let's start from
so
here. What is
so
this
that
photo about?
so that was basically one of our online e-classes that we had. So this was where we celebrated our Merdeka Day, our National Independence Day. Yeah, so that's why you can see like some of the volunteers and teachers. We have the flag as our virtual background.
Okay.
So yeah, and also so this is my team. So
Okay.
this is last year's team of volunteers and also teachers.
Volunteers and teachers at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's not the whole group, because some of them couldn't make it on that day. They couldn't make it for the award ceremony. Yeah.
All right.
This is a photo of our first meeting this year.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is a picture where this is the winners for our Westside Art competition last year. This is a group of them. We also have another group. Yeah. This was a visit that we had to the Brahma Vihara monastery and retreat center in Malacca as well. So because why do we bring them to for a visit to the monastery? Because we try to incorporate more interactive and experiential approaches in the teaching and learning process in Sekiai Dhamma School. So we want it to be more student centered, more student focused, so that they don't only learn about the Dhamma, but they also get to experience it and apply it in their real life. So when we talk about the triple gem, the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, they our kids over at Sekiai Dhamma School, we don't really get to see sanghas that often. So sometimes we have our resident monk, but because they have their jobs and responsibility to handle, so we don't really have our resident monk over that often. So sometimes we bring them up to see other monks, other sangha members. So that was one of the objective. So we want them to have more experiential learning that's outside of the classroom setting. Yeah, and in a way, we also can better meet the needs of our students, because not all learners can learn in a traditional classroom settings. We have kinesthetic learners, visual learners, where they learn better through moving and also looking at things. Yeah.
And the purpose of bringing them onto another local vihara is not only seeing monks, but also to understand how different viharas operate, right? And to have that experience. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about that. What's the purpose of bringing them to another local viharas? Maybe a Mahayana temple, maybe a Theravada temple, another temple. And, and,
So
and this photo was about Brahma Vihar, a monastery in Melaka, another local vihar, right?
yeah.
Hmm.
So basically, our objective was to let students apply what they have learned in Dhamma school in a real social setting. So when they went to the monastery, first and foremost, they get to have a look around. How does the monastery look like, and who are the occupants and all. And we also had like lunch dana session. So this was where they get to offer food to the sangha members, and they had like also puja sessions, and we had like dhamma talks. They in a school setting, they learn the dhamma from us volunteer teachers, but when we bring them outside of the school, they get to learn the dhamma from a different teacher, a teacher in a robe. So that's another benefit. And also they get to learn about the social and cultural part of Buddhism, because Brahma Vihara Monastery has like a whole lot of collection of artifacts, Buddhist artifacts from the olden days. So we had like a tour around their exhibits. So we got a look, and we were explained about the history and the like where did the artifacts came from and all, and how it is related to the history of Buddhism and all. So that was another interesting part. And I think at the end of the day, what the team and I wanted to do was to actually form like a camaraderie, a better bond, so that Cats Dhamma School can come together as one big family, and like we can understand each other well, because when we go on an educational trip like this, um, we don't only learn the Dhamma. Like I said, we learn, and also hopefully teachers and students get to internalize and also practice the Buddha's teaching at the same time. Yeah, so that's the whole objective of educational trips that we organize.
And plus, it's a first-hand experience, like
Yeah,
first-hand
the
to see
key
the.
concept.
I think every Buddhist temple should run a section like Buddhist artifacts. When I went to Trangana Buddhist Association last December for giving a talk, couple talks, they also had a very interesting flow in their building, Buddhist artifacts. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, it's interesting. So there's something more than yeah. Anyways,
I
let's see
think
other. Uh-huh. Yeah,
yeah,
please
I
go ahead.
think it's Sorry. So I think it's important for students and also teachers, especially students, to understand that, our teacher, the Buddha, was not just a legendary figure. That the
Mhm,
Buddha was a human,
mhm.
like a real life human that lived 2,600 years ago. So how do we prove that? One of the ways is to look into and study Buddhist artifacts and linked it to the history, yeah, and the
That
life of the Buddha.
Yeah, that means he's not just a legendary, but also historically and
Yeah.
archaeologically provable person in a way.
Yes.
So I think interesting. Yeah, let's see other pictures too. Right. I think the same event. I guess
Yes.
they are engaging in a dana ceremony, right?
Yes.
The,
Yes.
the,
This was the lunch dinner session that we took part in.
Mhm. Same place too. Interesting.
Yeah.
Should be.
So this is a picture of the students and Bhante Dhamapala. Yeah.
All right. The chief monk over there,
Yeah.
and then
The chief.
yeah, he's over there too.
So this is a very candid shot of Bhante Dhamapala and our kids. I think he was trying to show the kid how to put on the mask properly.
Interesting.
So this was the contemplation before meal session that we
Uh,
always have. Um, so we actually bring it over when we have lunch at Brahma Vihara. So this is wait sorry oh yeah, this is at the end of the sorry
this is at the Dhamma school, right? Second Dhamma
yeah,
school.
this
Huh?
is at the
Yeah.
Wisma,
What
the
are they
Wisma
doing here?
at Dhamma school. This is actually a group photo, but
Uh-huh.
I can't remember what
Um,
was the program.
oh,
If I'm not mistaken, this is after the award ceremony for the Vesa art competition. Yeah. So
right.
that's the
What is happening over here? Looks like they are parents. Huh?
oh yeah. So for we have a Sangika Dana annually. We term it the Sangika Dana and Gratitude Day. So after Dana for the monks, we have like a gratitude. We have a session where the students offer tea to their parents and say words of gratitude to their parents, and in turn, parents would also offer them their best wishes. Yeah.
All right.
So that's the tea offering ceremony. So
Is it the same ceremony?
oh yeah, that's a session where the students seek forgiveness from their parents.
Okay.
They hug each other after exchanging wishes and all. Yeah. So this is besides teaching them about the Buddhist teaching, which is the core business of a Dhamma school, we also try to have health awareness workshop, and this was the dental awareness workshop that we have in collaboration with the dental clinics from Malacca. So they are actually learning how to brush their teeth, and how to properly care for their teeth, how to practice proper dental hygiene and all. And this is a picture of our trip to Brahma Vihara Monastery, the one that we talked about earlier. This is a picture where the person in charge was explaining to us about how Brahma Vihara came about, you know the surrounding environment, like when did they plant the trees and all. Actually, right at the back of where the person in charge is standing in the picture, they have their Sima Hall. So there was a bit of introduction on their Sima Hall as well. So, oh yeah, this is a picture that my team took during our children mindfulness camp. Yeah, so as you can see from the picture that we have like octopus looking soft toy on their heads. So because we incorporated the short mindful sitting sessions on our during our Sunday Dhamma school sessions, but again we know that for students, especially that sometimes it can be challenging for them to actually bring their attention back to their mind and all. So one of my volunteer teacher suggested to have this soft toy. I think it's not an original idea, to be honest. We adapted and the idea from the internet, and we tried it during our camp. I think it worked wonders. Yeah. So most likely we'll be using the same strategy in our coming children mindfulness camp. Maybe with the different soft toys. No longer octopus. Maybe it will be something else. Yeah.
Right. Let's see more pictures.
So yeah, this is another picture that we took during the dental awareness camp. So this sorry.
Let's see.
This is a picture that we took for our West per session last year. So our students took part and contributed in the West per session last year. Some of them were the flower girls. Some they were called the incense boys, where they carried like incense throughout the procession, and the flower girls carried like flowers, baskets of flowers. So that's the way we try to introduce service dana to them, how they can actually contribute back to the organization that provides them this platform to learn the Dhamma. Yeah. So this is one of the mindful sitting session that we have. So we at Sekian Dhamma School, we encourage parents also join our puja session and also lessons sometimes. So you will see parents and students, sitting mindfully during our mindful sitting sessions. This is another picture of the
same ceremony.
The ceremony. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not water, tea. Okay.
Yeah, that's the tea in the cup.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
So these are some of their masterpieces. This is from the young. This is from the junior class.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's happening over here?
This is a picture of a picture we took during our mindful children mindfulness camp last year. As you can see, they have their octopus everywhere they go, during all sessions. And this is one of I would say I think I would call this a mindful lying session with the octopus. The Buddha taught us that it is our duty as practicing Buddhists to practice mindfulness not only in one posture, right? We're supposed to do it in all four postures, and we taught them that you can also lie down mindfully with your soft toy. That's
standing, sitting, walking, as long as you are awake. I hope they are not sleeping on the floor there.
I would be
lying down happily with the octopus back.
Yeah, on their tummy. Yeah. I would be lucky if I said no one fell asleep. I think a few fell asleep, but we woke them up.
Okay. Let's see. All right. And Shachin, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably go through some of the videos, not everything, just to see some highlights about probably some things that you added, like music, probably some poems. We'll take a look of probably some highlights, and then maybe we can stop the video and then you can explain. Huh?
Sure.
See that. So the song is sung by Shutana, another girl who has been volunteering to participate on our Facebook page. But video is from Sekian Dhamma School.
Do you remember the night you to sleep, turning my tears to comfort and to laughter. Do you remember the days being the flowers in the sky? You show me wisdom and guide me all the way. You have sacrificed for me, leaving heartprints of your love. Brahma of my home, teacher and my savior.
Right. We have come down to a video. What is it called? Let's see. Let's play more. See. Right. To save some time, I'm gonna sort of forward this video, then to see some. Oh, all right. So, Mr. Shachin, I saw a video about Chengmeng Festival and with some tombstones. What did the children do online with that video in that particular?
So basically, for that lesson, during our e-class session, we taught them about the significance of tomb sweeping cleaning practice that we do as it's a Chinese cultural practice. So, but there's always meaning behind a cultural practice. Obviously, the Qingming festival is one where it's a day, or it's a cultural practice where we show our appreciation to our ancestors and how we can actually pay respect to our ancestors, and
Interesting.
so that was the main goal of the session.
We'll watch this video where we see a boy from the Dhamma school student is singing a poem actually. Well, let's see how it works.
Our lessons, I've learned a lot. Here's my summary of blessing sought. To be respectful to those worthy of it, to have patience and not easily quit, to be polite to who you're addressing, this is the highest blessing. To be content and utter no complaints, to be obedient and have self-restraint, to be humble when you're progressing, this is the highest blessing. To be generous when you're giving, to live a simple and humble living, to have restraints when you're expressing, this is the highest blessing. To follow the Dhamma and take heed.
Just to save the time, we saw the video of a poem sung by a student.
Yeah.
Interesting. I think there are 38 blessings that we see in the Mangala Sutta.
So,
You want to say anything about this video, this poem?
Sorry?
He says a poem actually. Yes.
Yes, it's a poem written by our student. He was our ex-student from our e-class session. So he was from the senior class. So for that particular semester, we taught them about the Mangala Sutta, the 38 blessings. It's mentioned by the Buddha. And at the end of all the lessons that we had, we asked the kids to tell us what they think about what is the sutta all about, what they have learned, and also that was his output, I would say. Yeah, that was his presentation. So we were very surprised and also very touched at how he it was very encouraging for the team to know that our efforts paid off in such a beautiful way. Yeah.
Interesting. Now we are going to discuss about the challenges of running a Dhamma school, especially in terms of within the Dhamma school space. But at the same time, how to overcome those challenges. I think we can understand then how you have managed. But before that, when we announced that we'll be doing a video interview with you, there were some colleagues of you, some friends who contacted us, and then they shared about you. We'll see how they thought about you, about how you manage the challenges within the Dhamma school, and then we'll get to how you did it in your own words.
Oh, okay. This is interesting.
Time to talk about Sister Zixing. It's great, Bhante Chandima, giving us this time to talk about Sister Zixing. It's great to get her to be one of the Patisuta's interview. I know Zixing for quite some time. I really thank you her for letting me to have the section of the Dhamma school at SKEDS to lead the children, hymn singing, body percussion, and also cup song. Thank you her for letting me to do so. I'm so happy the children learn something and they enjoy. As a volunteer at SKE, I have personally seen she brought some new things and new idea to our children. I'm so happy to see the change, and I wish best of luck. And thank you, Bhante Chandima. And also, I'm inviting some teachers to speak about her.
All right, that's Malika Supengchua, and we are going to listen something too interesting about how you manage your online school actually.
I had the honor of working with Sister Chisin a few years back during the MSO period when Second Dhamma School took the leap to actually run their Dhamma classes online. I was one of the fortunate one to be recruited in handling one of the levels for the online classes. Back then, I remember very clearly that Sister Chisin actually had a very clear plan in mind and ahead of her. I believe she actually put her experience and her knowledge as a trained teacher into good practice, as she came up with very clear structure as well as lesson plans and the whole entire schedule in order to fulfill the lessons online. And when we were doing the lessons and all, Sister Chisin, I remember, always encouraged us to obtain feedback, and get involvement from the students, whether it is through games, quizzes, questions, in any creative manner that we can think of, right? As she's really believed that the teaching should not be in a one way or one direction manner, because it is when you obtain the feedback from the students that then you could actually verify whether they have actually learned or understood correctly what was intended for them to learn. Besides that, I remember we also had implemented this method of a take-home task, which I thought was a very good method for the students to practice the knowledge that they have gained or they have obtained during class into their daily life. Some students were actually very eager to share what they have done, and this little act actually helped them to know that they could easily practice, Dhamma in their regular daily life. Besides that, I also remember that at times, Sister Chisin has no hesitation in sounding us, of course, in a tactful manner, if we are not prepared enough for the classes. I guess it's due to, with the sufficient materials and the resources that we are provided, there is really no excuse for us to be ill-prepared to handle the class. As I understand that she put an importance into, in us being ready to deliver the correct information, as well as to be ready to answer any questions that the students has actually asked during the sessions. Then after the MCO, due to the fact that the classes were back to physical, then I actually moved to doing a little bit of providing a little bit of help here and there in the development of their lessons. At that point, I noticed that Sister Chisin is very open to new ideas, new methods to run classes. But yet, she always maintained the importance of the accuracy of the content and the information that's provided, because she will actually usually ask us to list down where are where we get that resources from, so that the information that's provided to the students or delivered to the students is actually as accurate as it can be. I guess all in all, my experience with Sister Chisin is very enriching, and in fact, it's really easy. As her direction and her expectations are always spelled out very clearly. Therefore, it's easy to follow suit and understand what is required from our side. A good leader indeed. Thank you.
Well, along with Meng Sen's comment about you, now what I can see is that you're always encouraging teachers to think that this is not a one-way thing that we have to do in the Dhamma school. We have to always get the feedback from students, and then to know that, okay, is teaching going okay, whether they are liking. This is what very interesting thing, and also to spell out the teaching plans and objectives of what are you expecting and all that, maybe punctuality and everything. So along with these comments, especially so far, how do you see the challenges in the Dhamma school, especially how you took up the challenge from physical to online when the SOP was imposed, and then how did you overcome those challenges, not only by yourself, with a team of people? Sometimes it's very difficult to maintain teachers. They are from different ages, right? Not even in a high school. High school has a similar, like at least certain age bracket. But when you go to a Dhamma school, they have very senior teachers, they have very young ones and middle-aged ones. So how did you see the challenges of a Dhamma school, especially during COVID time? And then when the SOP was lifted, now you have to bring the students back to the Dhamma school in person. And then there are different other challenges to overcome. So challenges, and then how did you overcome as the chairperson, principal role, and then with the team of other teachers and with the students?
Okay. First and foremost, I would say that the main challenge that we have over at Sekai Dhamma School is the availability of volunteers, because I think it's not just SCATs. I think Dhamma School everywhere relies heavily on the participation of volunteers, and because volunteers work on pro bono basis, and so a lot of times we volunteers over at our Dhamma school, we are not retired people, retirees, or we have our own full-time job and all, and we took it upon ourselves to come together as a team to work this out. And most of us have limited availability due to personal commitments and career commitments and all. So we had to work around that, and so sometimes this would lead to the difficulty in maintaining a very consistent pool of volunteers to actually lead and to lead Dhamma school. Yeah. So in that sense, it will actually affect the teaching quality, and also the sustainability of the program. But so in order to close this gap, we I adapted the buddy system that Sekiai Dhamma School has practiced since a few years ago. Now I I I design it in a way where it's not just one teacher per lesson per Sunday. So it's always a team of 3 or 4 volunteer teachers per Sunday. So because I want to make sure that there is there's no gap in that sense where if let's say one teacher couldn't make it for a particular Sunday, they don't have to text everyone or the rest of the team members to ask who can replace. And in our buddy system, I encourage the teachers to always come together, have like a discussion session before prior to a Sunday session that they're going to lead, so they can sit together and decide and have like discussion on how they want what kind of roles that they would carry out for that particular Sunday. We have teachers who take pictures, we have a teacher who lead the session, and we have a teacher who focuses on classroom management. So basically everyone works as a team for a particular age group of students. So previously there was only one teacher per class per session, although they have like a team for one age group, but we find a lot of gaps and loopholes in that. So I adapted the system and changed the way we implement things and all. So that's number one. And in this in bringing about these new changes in the buddy system, right? Even if we have teachers who couldn't follow through or had to leave the pool due to personal commitments, the whole team is still intact. You see, yeah. That's how the team and I close the gap.
That is one challenge. I mean, how to keep up.
Just one challenge.
We don't want to talk about a lot of challenges. I mean, let's say let's talk about 2 to 3 challenges. One is how to keep up with the consistent panel of pool of teachers. Now you have a suggestion, and you have a couple teachers, and then they are taking turns. Is that what you're saying? Are they taking turns? Okay, they are taking turns. What about the challenge?
Sorry, I would like to make some corrections here. They do not take turns. Teachers have to be there for all Sundays actually. But the leaders will take turn. The person leading the lesson will take turn. Will switch.
I see. Interesting.
Yeah.
What about another challenge with regard to students? Now this is for the teachers. Having a pool of teachers is a challenge now, you suppose, and you already implemented a strategy to keep teachers consistently. What about a challenge in terms of students? Now, Meng Seng's comment said that you are proposing a two-way kind of a communication, two-way kind of idea to keep the Dhamma school plan going on. Not in many Dhamma schools this happens. Like teachers come, hey, write down, and then this is what I want to say, and then they write down, they go. Maybe students sometimes cannot ask some questions too. So I think in order for a teacher to follow with a two-way system, teacher has to be ready a lot, has to be prepared a lot, has to be very empathetic, has to be very compassionate, should be very patient, because students asking some very different mind-boggling questions. Why? How did the Prince Siddhartha walk on 7 steps, right? How did he become the Buddha? So students have different questions. I mean, those questions are not like normal devotees' questions in the Dhamma talk. So I think teachers need lots of patience. So in terms of interacting with the students as the principal, chairperson, or teachers, what could be the biggest challenge that you have understood, and how did you overcome that by yourself and with your team?
Okay. As I've explained earlier, we integrated technology in the way we teach and learn with the students in Sekiai Dhamma School. So because we want to enrich the learning opportunities for not only the students but also the parents, so we employ a variety of online resources, and we use a lot of multimedia presentations and educational apps, and a lot of other strategies and techniques in the classroom setting itself to teach and also engage the students, to make sure there is more interactive and two-way communication and learning experience. Because we find that a lot of times students, not only students, even parents, or sometimes even our volunteers themselves, they have limited understanding of the Buddhist teaching, and um, students especially, they might view Dhamma school as just another school day, and uh, I've actually asked a few students sometimes, like, why are you here? Like, why do you come to Dhamma school? And I think we all know. I think you can roughly guess the answer that they gave in response. My parents sent me here. Like, actually I prefer sleeping in on a Sunday morning, but my parents sent me here, so that's why I'm here. So we understand that sometimes students did not come, or they do not come to Dhamma school voluntarily. So to close this gap, we try to make our lessons as interactive, as students friendly as possible. So I think Ming San explained a lot about how we do it in a classroom setting and the kind of preparation that we do prior to the lesson itself. So actually, a session doesn't start in the classroom. It starts way back, um, right at the time where uh, another teacher and we have like a team of two that develop lessons for Dhamma school. So a lesson starts from lesson development stage itself. So, and during lesson development stage, that's I would say that is the most crucial stage for teaching and learning in Dhamma school, because when we design lessons, we not only have to based it heavily on the Buddhist teaching, we also have to simplify certain concepts for the students, because we cannot be asking students to just read uh, things that we just copy and paste online. It doesn't work that way. It will be too wordy for the kids. So we have to do a lot of adaptation and simplification in that sense, in terms of the content. And we also have to incorporate a lot of visuals. Visuals are very, very important. It cannot be just words. I think it's widely acknowledged. And we also have to look for videos. Videos are and when we talk about incorporating visuals, it's not just us just taking something from the net and just putting it into our slides and all. No, we have to filter, review the suitability, whether is it related to this particular topic, and whether there is validity and credibility of the kind of visuals and materials that we would want to use for a particular topic, for a particular lesson. And actually I can go on and on about this, but but to make it short, the main challenge that we face is trying to make a lesson interesting. And as I've explained earlier, we actually tried to close the gap by making interactive materials, and also making the lesson interactive during the implementation of the lessons that we have designed, and the lessons that we have planned. So those are the two main points that I would like to bring up. Is number one, we have to make the syllabus and the lessons, the individual lessons, interesting. The materials that we use, make it as interesting as possible. Put in as many educational apps or tools that you can. You need to have like plan A and sometimes plan B. And number two is to make sure that I try my best to make sure that the teachers are ready every time to deliver a lesson. So I would always meet them prior to a session if there is a need. Usually there is a need, and I would also meet them after a particular learning session. We have post-mortem sessions after every Sunday sessions with the students. So this is a practice that I have put into place, and also we have been practicing for quite a while now. We started it way back during the E-class era, and up until now we are still practicing it, meeting before the lesson and also meeting after the lesson to talk about the gaps that arise during the implementation and how we can actually improve for the next lesson. There's always room for improvement. To me, I feel like, handling a Dhamma school and teaching a Dhamma based lesson, it's mostly about try and error. We try our best, we implement something, and then we look for the gaps and we improve from there. And then it's a progressive thing. Yeah.
Have you also faced any challenges when you're dealing with parents in the Dhamma school? If so, you can share with one challenge and how you overcame that.
Okay.
If so,
I don't think we have a lot of objections or objections from the parents, because
do you take parent meeting, staff meeting sometime? Dhamma school.
so far we only we have like one-to-one session with the parents if needed. Yeah. But of course, students' enrollment in a Dhamma school relies significantly on parents' consent, right? So in order to attract students to come, obviously we would talk to parents who are interested, and a lot of times it's mouth to mouth encouragement and words that they hear from parents who have sent their kids to Sunday Dhamma school, and that's how we get more participation from the Buddhist community at large. It's mouth to mouth marketing basically. So
That means they have joined with the teachers to face the challenges of the Dhamma school. Not that they are outside and thinking that they have own challenges. They have put a challenge.
Basically, our main challenge in the context of we face challenge in getting parents to join the session. Yeah. Because they have no issue in sending students to us, but usually what they do is they leave after dropping their kids at Sunday Dhamma school, and they come and pick them at the end of the session. So we're still trying to find ways to engage, to have more parental support in that sense. Now we have a few parents who volunteer with us. They volunteer from the sideline. They volunteer as kitchen helpers, as classroom assistants and all. So I think it's a good start. It's a good step towards, having more qualified Dhamma teachers in the future.
Interesting. Just to reduce the timing, I don't have to skip, but I think we can skip some of because they were already addressed. All right. Shachin, I'm kind of interested about teachers. I think although you said to us that there is a way how to keep the teachers, we can't even depend on one teacher. We have to have a pool of teachers, and we have to see that in case of any immediate emergency, any urgency, if they stop coming, then somebody has to take it up. Students don't have to wait. I think running a Dhamma school with teachers, especially volunteer teachers, nobody is paid in the Dhamma school, right? So it's like the appreciation. It's like appreciation. It's like one's own happiness, peace, and then probably gratitude. So I think to keep that thinking on the side of teachers to keep it going in their life could be a little different. So I wanted to ask you about the teachers' perspective, especially. Do you think that teachers need some training, some regular training to get updated, or I mean, how does that updating in terms of teachers has led to the development of Dhamma? So maybe if you are a very good principal in the Dhamma school, they will believe you, they will trust you, they will do whatever you ask you. So they may be updated. But as a concept, how important is the training, updating the knowledge of teachers, to the development of Dhamma school? And after your answer, we're gonna be seeing another video of some teachers of your Dhamma school.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So I think we can agree on the fact that having quality teachers is essential in an educational institution setting. And from my point of view, Buddhism is about gradual training. So in training our teachers over at Dhamma school, we also take on this approach of gradual training. So we do have workshops, and from time to time to support the teachers. So when we tried to integrate technology during the pandemic era, we, besides the online lessons, we also provide online trainings for the teachers where we taught them how to integrate online educational tools into their teaching approaches. And then we talk about we talk a bit about how Dhamma should be taught in an online setting. And also we talk about how heart matters in teaching the Dhamma. We organize different workshops on different topics to support the teachers, but we focus heavily on technological integration, and now we focus a lot on having a more supportive system. So we don't really have as many workshops as compared to the pandemic era, but now we have a lot of coming together sessions, short gathering sessions where we discuss about the kind of teaching and learning experience that we have, and what are some of the challenges that we face in the classroom, and how we can solve certain challenges in the future. Because a lot of time when we come together, we share ideas. So when we face certain issues that we couldn't solve on our part, we always the team, I would say, always seek help from other teachers in the pool. Yeah, I think that's the basis of how we keep the pool of volunteer teachers together, is to have a very good supporting system, and to work together as a big family. I always make sure that they can come to me for any issue that they have.
Such a very open, a generous person to give some consultation and maybe to keep up with you. Okay, we will hear whether that is true or not from your teachers. All right.
Tim Bukuan, and actually I'm one of the SCATS teachers that also in the same team with Sister Shachin. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank her for her effort and also the hard work that she has done to the schools, mostly during the COVID and the post-COVID periods. So during that time, me and her and the rest of the teachers try to develop a syllabus that is suitable to conduct the class online. And after 1 or 2 years, we managed to pass through that stage, and now we can run the schools in the physical meeting as usual. So with that, I really thank her for her effort, and thanks again to Sister Shachin, and I wish you all the best.
Nama budaya, I'm Sister Woon. I've known Shachin since year 2020 during the COVID pandemic time, and despite being despite being the youngest in SCAT's pool of dedicated teachers and volunteers, she very bravely took up the responsibility of leading SCAT's team under very trying circumstances. And actually, along the journey, I can see that she has right motivation and resolve on Dhamma Duta, which actually reflected the qualities upheld by the Buddha on faith, generosity, and self-sacrifice. With her relevant background, training, and means, she actually could lead, build, train, and guide, as well as foster teamwork among the teachers, volunteers, and Kalyana Mitas. In the face of challenges, she actually persevered with the team in actually building, in actually bringing to the students Dhamma education, which is very essential, meaningful, and engaging. And also with a relevant background, training, and means in Dhamma education, she could lead, build, train, and guide in Dhamma education, and as well as foster teamwork among the teachers, volunteers, and Kalyana Mitas. In the face of challenges, she persevered with the team in bringing Dhamma education to the students, exploring and sharing various pedagogy, education tools, and also platforms to teach the Dhamma in a meaningful, and bringing it in teaching the essential, meaningful, and engaging Dhamma education. There were ups and downs, but I can see that she has commendable discipline, courage, perseverance, resilience in staying focused to deliver the Dhamma education in the true essence of it. Sadhu to Sister Chachin and the team.
Budaya, Bhante, Dr. Chandima. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Bhante for a lot of knowledge about Buddhism through the Zoom classes that I've been attending. And I would like to take this opportunity to appreciate Sister Chachin. I seems to know Sister Chachin during the COVID time when the physical Buddhist class are not possible. And by the way, I have to introduce myself. I'm Cindy Yo, who has been with the SKE Dhamma School since the early 2000. And during the difficult COVID time, Sister Chachin, with her professional knowledge and skill, managed to help us to have online Dhamma classes for the children. And she incorporated her teaching methodology into the teaching of the Dhamma. And I find that teaching the youngsters are very important because we have to seed the Buddha's teaching into the young mind, where they will find advantages and appreciation throughout their life. So once again, I'd like to thank Sister Chachin for her effort of bringing bringing us who are very proficient in using the Zoom way of teaching, together with those who are not comfortable with the system initially. And we managed to share the Dhamma with the children throughout the COVID pandemic time. And I wish Sister Shachin the very best in her future undertaking. Thank you.
Good morning, Bhante, Dr. Chandima, and Sister Chachin. I've started working with Sister Cecile in 2020. I joined SCATS in 2017, but I did not work with Cecile. We started working in 2020 during the e-class because of COVID, and I find that Sister Cecile is approachable and friendly, and she's a no-nonsense lady. And she's very efficient in carrying out her duties. And what I like is she has introduced meditation to the Dhamma school. So I'm grateful that Cecile has sacrificed her busy schedule to help to organize SCAT school, and I wish her all the best. All right, thank you.
All right. I think all these are very complimentary things. Very commendable compliments about you. And one said that you are very approachable. That's very interesting because oftentimes people who are leading organizations are not very approachable. And the other things about your characters, I'm not going to talk about them. I think they are proven. So with the time, let's understand about what your teachers are talking in terms of your incorporation of your knowledge. One said that some were not comfortable in keeping up with the new technology. I think it's a big task. Sometimes there may be seniors, they haven't kept up with laptops, internet. So maybe you can just give us a very, very short answer about how did you manage these ones who are not into technology. They are technologically unfriendly people to be on board of your new plan in the what you call COVID timing. And then we will go to the final question.
I think there's no magic for this. So what we at the administrator did at the administration level did was we try to like I mentioned earlier, we design the lessons. We make sure all the materials and the references are ready for the teachers to carry out, to implement it in the classroom or in any other settings, so that we made sure of that. So the teachers only had to study and implement it. Okay, so that's that. And in terms of supports that we provided for teachers who are not technologically savvy, we have like a manual on how they can operate certain digital devices. So we have smart TVs in our classroom. So we have a teacher who came up with a manual for that, like which button to on, which switch and which port to plug in and everything. We have a manual for that. That's one. And also that's one of the reasons why we have buddy system. That's not just one teacher per class per session. So when we have like 3 to 4 teachers in one class, so one of the teacher can be the person that is in charge of setting up the digital devices that they're going to use, and this in many ways actually help the teacher leader for that session to allow her to have more time to just focus on delivering the lesson instead of having to worry about like whether the internet connection is there, or how should I click, who is gonna play the video and all. So that's it. I think these are two main strategies that we put in place to solve to close the gaps.
Very interesting. All right. So now I'm going to connect the last two questions as one question. We will go back to our topic: how to grow an effective Dhamma school. This is very interesting, and especially growing an effective Sunday Dhamma school is our plan. Is what we've been discussing, and then with that question, you can answer to that question. At the same time, you can also share with us about the future of the Sunday Dhamma school. I think we will be having more changes, dynamics in the future. I would say for many people these could be challenges, because if you are not changing on each with the things that are happening, you could certainly go through a lot of challenges. So how to grow an effective Sunday Dhamma school? You've been actually sharing with us a lot, but along with your changes, how you've been operating, functioning with your teachers, you can tell us about how to do it as a framework to any Dhamma school in Malaysia, in other places too. On the other hand, how does that help us to understand the future of Sunday Dhamma school? Will we have a physical audience in the future? It's a very interesting thing. A lot of people, they are questioning, will we have some children in the future in 10 more years? In 20 years, will everything be digitized? Will everything be online? Will they like to come to Dhamma school? So with all that, you can share with us how you think about how to grow an effective Sunday Dhamma school, and what will be the future, and what are the opportunities, not just the challenges. What are the opportunities we can have, we can make use of to bring true Dhamma to our future generations.
Okay. So as I've mentioned earlier, a Dhamma school provides an ideal environment for us to nurture the seeds of Dhamma in the students from a very young age. And actually, a Dhamma school caters to the needs of not only the students but also to all teachers, volunteers, and parents involved. It's a very I would say it's a very it's a very intertwined concept that we all work together in to build a Dhamma inspired community, and that's one thing. So on that basis, we understand that that Dhamma, it's a lot about gradual training, beginning with fundamental practices such as dana, generosity, and also sila, practicing the Buddhist values and virtues. So I think there's this saying that goes that you learn as you teach, or you teach as you learn. I think it goes both ways. So I think this saying highlights the importance of the interconnected nature of teaching and learning, in all educational contexts, and in the Dhamma education context as well. So in the Dhamma school, so I think we teach, learn, and grow together with the students and parents as teachers. So, and also at the same time, a Dhamma school offers everyone involved an opportunity to engage in, like I said, dana, and practice sila, the virtues. And as we do that, we progress along the spiritual path to eventually reach the final destination, which is enlightenment. So in that sense, I think there will be challenges, as I've explained earlier, but nothing too huge nothing too huge that we cannot handle. We take it one step at a time. And to cut things short, I think in the future, for the kind of plan that I have in mind for Sekiai Dhamma School is that we can have like a hybrid session. Just now you mentioned a while ago about, are we going to have any more physical audience, right? So I think there will always be the need for a physical audience, because but at the same time, we can also cater to the needs of our online audience. So that's where we can have like a hybrid setting. But again, in order to do that, we need like a bigger pool of volunteers to handle the physical setting and also the online setting of the whole concept. So, but that's the kind of opportunity that I see in the future for Dhamma education, is to have Dhamma sessions simultaneously in the physical setting and also on online platforms. So, and I think it's a feasible plan, but that comes with its own sets of challenges. Yeah.
And you don't think that there will be an AI teachers in the future in Dhamma school?
I cannot I don't think I have like a final say in this, but we do have like an AI platform for Dhamma researchers. I think some of us in the Dhamma community knows it. It's called Norbu. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a platform for people
But
to
they are not actually, they are not very customized answers, very inclusive customized answers. They are actually, you could say, you could find a general answer, but they are not very custom tailored answer. A teacher can give, with her or his own words properly.
Yeah, so I think no, there isn't a form of technology, there isn't a form of AI tool that can actually replace the human touch. I think we still need real life human teachers, to deliver lessons, to engage the students, and to also learn and grow with the students. I don't think there's any form of digital tool or AI tool that can replace that. Yeah.
Good place. Irreparable. It's an irreparable service. Interesting. All right, Shachin, is there anything that you missed out on sharing with us? So anything, maybe you can conclude today with any information that you really wanted to say but you missed in the discussion.
I don't think so, but I just would like
Do you
to.
want to say anything to your parents, your students, your teachers, community in Malacca and Malaysian community, our audience too, about Dhamma School? What is your most important piece of advice? Yeah.
I don't think I'm in a position to advise anyone, but I would just like to convey my my appreciation and my gratitude to everyone. The seen or the seen or unseen, actually, in my journey, especially since I've taken upon the challenge to to lead the Dhamma school since the pandemic era up until today. I would like to thank everyone involved, because I think, as cliche as it sounds, I think if we want to walk far, I'm sure everyone has heard this before. If we want to walk fast, we can walk alone. But if we want to walk far, I think we should walk with the together with the rest of the team. So I think to build an effective Dhamma school, we cannot work alone. We have to work with a group of dedicated, committed, and supportive volunteers. That's a given. Because volunteers, a lot of times volunteers are very scarce, So when we get to encounter when we get to meet up with very dedicated and committed volunteers, I try my best to actually make sure that Dhamma school is a place where they can thrive, learn, and grow, and remain inspired by the Buddha's teaching, and in that sense they can carry on and bring the Dhamma across to the students, which is our future generation. They are the ones that will replace us in the future, right? So I think we should make sure that Dhamma education is sustainable, and we should make sure there is continuity in that sense. So that's why I'm in the position that I'm in now, and hopefully there'll be someone that will take over my position in the future and continue to lead. Thank you.
Yeah, that's an interesting remark actually. Sometimes there are very good individuals even in the Buddhist organizations, and they are doing very well, but they are not thinking about a good transition after that. Maybe when they pass away, maybe when they have to switch to other work. Very interesting. So you wanted to see a smooth transition that somebody's going to take up, and then maybe probably do better than you one day, because things are changing. Do as how we've been doing, and then not going lower than how you've been doing actually. All right. Thank you very much, Shachin. I also wanted to thank your teachers, Thi Boon Tuan, Woon Kwai Ching, Delicia, Cindy Yo, and our event director Malika Supin Chua, and also Meng Sang for their remarks about you, and then how you've been doing. You want to say anything to them?
I would like to take this opportunity to thank the core team members and also our team of volunteers and everyone involved. I think it's kind of hard to name everyone, to be honest. I have immense sense of gratitude for your support and your belief in me. Thank you, Sergeant.
Thank you, Shachin. At the same time, I wanted to say something to our audience. Dhamma folks, today I was joined by Shachin, who is the chairperson to Sekiani Dhamma School and Sekiani Temple in Malacca. And she is the chairperson, and also she has been overseeing in the role of principal. And she has been adding a lot of changes, new changes, and we learn a lot. It doesn't mean that the predecessors of her did not do well. They have been doing their own roles, but in her time, she has been innovating a lot and pretty interesting. And we discuss about this topic, growing and effective Sunday Dhamma School. And she has been sharing with us a lot, starting from teamwork, and being a good leader, and then two-way communication with students, and a lot of things. So I think you can go back and watch again too. Thank you, everybody. So we'll be seeing you. Looking forward to seeing you with another episode. Thank you, Shachin. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bhante.
Have a happy Wednesday. Yes.
You too. Have a great day. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.